Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Jayco Pinnacle 36 FBTS fifth wheel. You guys picked a beautiful unit here. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things, try to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite and a few things to take into consideration when parking. On your campsite, you are going to have a slide. You're also going to have an awning at the end of that slide and a main awning. So there'll be plenty of room for all of those things to come in and out. Preferably nothing hanging over top of your slide. On your off campsite, same thing. There'll be plenty of room for both your slides to come in and out. But then I also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your power cord is going to store all the way in the rear of this unit. Right inside that storage container. We'll pull it out here in a second. And then your water whole docking station is going to be up toward the front here on the campsite or driver's side of your tow vehicle, off campsite. So park accordingly so you utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once we arrive, unhook our hitch by coming up here to our auto leveling system. Touch our up and down arrow. That's going to turn it on. Get that up, get our vehicle up out of the way. Once the vehicle's up out of the way, we're simply going to touch auto level. Auto level is going to run down all your auto leveling systems. It's going to start generally by lowering your front, and then your auto leveling will go up and down, or bring itself down until everything is level and stable. Once it is level and stable, we can hook up our power and water. Your power cord, again, stores inside this storage back here. Your deadbolt key will fit on that. Flip this up here, store that in there. There's a manual about this reel, but you literally just pull it out by hand. But when you want to reel it back in, you have a power reel to reel it back in. One hand on the power reel, the other hand here moving it back and forth so you can bring it back in there evenly. So that's a big long 50 amp cord. At the end of that 50 amp service, if you're at a campsite that has 30 amp, in your convenience pack will be a 50 to 30 amp reducer. And if you ever need to plug into a 110 at home, there's a 30 to 15 amp reducer to throw on the end of that. That's your power hooked up. Let's hook up our water. Now your docking station is inside your second storage here. First one's propane, second one is your docking station. Made it real simple here. Gave you diagrams. At campsites, we're going to hook up that city water connection. White down, green to the left, red up, blue to the left, just like this. First off, match our knobs. Second, grab our water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40-50 psi, protecting the lines in the unit. Don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites, so always use this when putting fluid in here. Come over here to where it says city water. Hook up your water pressure regulator, hook up your hose, but don't turn your hose on yet. One more step, let's find your hot water heater. On your unit, your hot water heater is just to the right of your entry doorway, and all we're doing at this point is making sure our drain plug's back in. This will lift right up off here, so be careful. Two-hand job. And again, all we're doing is make sure our drain plug's in there. Put plumber's tape around there, not putty. Putty will gum up on you, mess your threads up. So plumber's tape 1 1/8" socket. Get that in there nice and tight. Once that's in there tight, you can go ahead and turn that hose on. Now after that hose has been on for a little while, go inside and deploy your slides. Our unit's level and stable. We got our power and water hooked up. I want you to get inside there and open up your water taps. Open up your water taps, make sure you got a nice steady flow of water going through everything. There's no air in the lines. Then shut them off. If you come out here and just check your water pressure regulator, you'll feel water in there. Then you'll know that your hot water heater is full. Then you can turn that on from indoors. Now if for some reason hot water heater doesn't seem to be working, come out here and see if these are bubbled up. If they are, simply press them back in. They're just resets. Now let's say we're going to go camping and we're not going to use city water. We're not going to hook up to a campsite. We are going to go boondocking or dry camping. In that case, we're going to start a two-step process. We'll start by filling our tanks. Power fill, city inlet to tank. So white down, green, red. Now we're just going to turn our blue down. Hook up our water the same way. Close our hot water heater the same way. Treat the lines the same way. But what you're going to do is go inside, and where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks, there's also a reading for your fresh water. While you're filling that up, don't leave this unattended and have someone watch that. Once that fresh water is full, remove that hose. Then whenever you want to use that water, we will start by switching to dry camping. Now we match dry camping. Now we'll turn on the water pump. You can turn it on out here. You'll see it light up over there to the left. Or you can turn it on indoors. It's recommended wherever you turn it on, you shut it off at the same spot. Usually out here is when you want to turn it on when you're winterizing. Generally you turn on your hot water heater indoors. Or your freshwater pump, excuse me. Now we're all set up for water and power. I want to make sure you don't turn on your water pump when hooked up to city water. That's already pressurized. We'll go ahead and walk you around the rest of the unit, continuing here in the docking station. Got some lighting up here. Again, our auto leveling system. There is info on that right there if I wasn't clear about it. Prep for solar. You can plug in a solar panel up there and that'll trickle charge your batteries. Switch for your water pump. Hot and cold shower. Spray port hose will connect onto that. Cable and satellite. All your connections and how to set those up. City water and tank fill. Tank flush. That's your black tank flush. We'll talk about that when we dump our black and gray tanks. This is your water filter. And then this is an easy access area to run all those hoses down through. In here is your spray port. Just a manual hand crank for bringing down your spare tire. And just toward the back, I believe. This is a tank of water that on the inside you have an island with a power switch that will suck this up there. It's got a pump on it, and that will give you fresh drinking water in your island on the inside. I'll show you that when we get inside there. Front here's your propane. Pointed toward the tank you wish to be using. Lefty loosey to open. Green means you got gas. You got your quick connect LP back here. Or excuse me. You've got your battery disconnect back here. That'll disconnect all the battery power to your unit. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide and propane detector. Continuing down your off camp side, a flue for your furnace. Here's another spot for black tank flush for your second black tank. This little storage area, your deadbolt key opener, I find it a great area to go ahead and put hand towels and plastic gloves for when you're dumping your black tanks. Here's where we dump that black and gray tanks. Access the back of your fridge. And water lines for your freezer. That is a vent for your microwave. Got low point drains down here that'll be easier access once your slide's closed and we're leaving the campsite. Again, your power. You got a ladder. Utilize it. Go up there a couple times a year and check the seams of your roof and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. You can also prep for a backup camera device that can attach to your Dash your tow vehicle, electronically communicate with the device you put on here, giving you a backup camera. There's all your accessory hitch info and your weight limits. This is for a J-port. It's just a metal tube that can slide in there with a quick connect LP. 110 in cable in case you want to set a TV out here. There's your connect LP. There is where you'll store your sewage hose. We'll get to that later. Got an extra awning on your slide. There's your manual hand crank for your spare tire I was talking about earlier. And this slide's closed, you can get to that easier. Another low point drain on this side. Over here, see if I can do this one-handed. Set this over here and open it up for you. Right here you have extra TV. Go get your remote. Turn your remote inside. When you arrive at the campsite, go in the menu and set up for a digital channel scan so you can pick up the local channels.
TV5 News at 5, serving Beaverton, Birch Run, Burton.
We'll put this remote back indoors. Make sure you keep those locked. Couple outdoor speakers. Again, your hot water heater. That blue spray port, that's to hook up your hot and cold in your docking station. That'll also plug in over here to spray things off as well. All set up in here for TV as well, cable in 110. Vacuum system, turn this light on here. So vacuum system, here's all your attachments for that. You'll simply raise this up, attach, turn that on. A low point drain, accessible through your doorway here. Extra propane tank can be stored on this side. In the front's gonna be your hydraulics for all of your leveling system and your batteries. Check your batteries now and then, make sure nothing's wiggled loose over time. About covers everything out here. Some docking lights you can turn on from down here. Let's go take a look on the inside. Now generally the first thing I like to point out in all units is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camped with you knows that the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway in case of emergency. As you come in to your immediate right is your control panel. Touch that and go to home. So I'm going to show you quickly here on the home screen. You can take care of your climate, your lights, your motors, your tanks, or your energy. All these are individually over here as well, and that's where I'm going to run through them with you. Starting the first one, tanks. Here's where you can turn on your water pump if you're using potable water. And down here is where you can watch your fresh water fill to know when that's full enough to use. Here's where you turn on your water heater if hooked up to electric, your water heater if hooked to gas. And this is a little 12-volt pad that's on your tanks. It's a tank heater. You only use in inclement weather, and make sure there's something in your tank before turning it on. Of course, you can read all of your tanks here and their levels. Next to there's going to be our motors. Auto leveling system you can run from here. We can scroll this and control our awnings and our slides. I'm going to extend this awning right here. So our front awning I'm going to run out. I'm going to show you on your awnings. You only want to run these out until you see your flap fall down and you can see the metal bar. Now if you're not paying attention, holding that button down, that will run itself out and start to run itself up backwards. There's your flap, there's your bar. So you'll stop right there. As I said, if you continue, that will start running itself up backwards. I'll retract that one. Keep your finger on the button. As I run that back in there, I'm going to show you something real quick down here. I'm going to touch here. Let's start with off. pair, PA. You can pair this device to your BM Pro. Awning 1, I can retract from here as well. That'll run through Awning 1, Awning 2, and all of your slides down here where you can extend and retract, as well as up here where it's reading Awning 1 retracting. So same thing, Awning 2, your slide controls. We'll use all three of those when we close the unit up. Next, let's go to our temperature. Turn that on, make this say AC. Turn our temperature down below the 70 it's in here, and that should crank up our AC unit. There it goes. You hear that running? Shut that off. Shuts off quickly. When you turn on the furnace heat, it ends up make this heat, furnace heat. You'll notice when I shut the furnace off, it takes a few minutes for the furnace fan to cycle through before it shuts off. Next will be your lighting. Notice a line next to all these. Every single one of these, and I'll show you by looking into your bedroom, they are dimmable. Slide that control down and that would dim your lights in there. Same thing in your dinette, your living room. These are all dimmable lights just by sliding on that line, or touch them to shut them off. Turn them all back on, or leave them off. And the last place I'm going to show you how to use lights is down here in the bottom. Touch number 1. Number 1 will turn on all your interior lights. Number 2, all your exterior. Number 3 will turn on and off both. Next, tire pressures. You can monitor those from there, and then power, just showing you what kind of power you're using. Again, at the bottom, 1, 2, and 3. Another spot you can turn on your water pump, and then all your extensions. Do recommend getting the BM Pro app on your phone. Power inverter, turn that on when, right now you're showing you on shore power. Down below that is a click light for your fan down there. Shut that off. On the floor on your steps, sweep your trash up, lift it up, there goes your vacuum. Now there is a access to your filter through here. Then you into your little half bath here. You do have a GFCI reset right here. 110 there. A fan vent open and turn your fan on in here. Vent closed. You have a max air vent over here. You'll see a few of these throughout the unit. These are temperature readers. All they do is help the thermostat to work better. Max air vent, touch on. It will open and turn on your max air vent. You can change the speeds of that from down here. Open and running. Hit off and it will close and shut itself off. Down below that is your 12 volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mentioned that's 12 volt, that's always running off your battery. So if you are out boondocking, dry camping somewhere, nothing plugged in charging your battery, use your battery disconnect to keep this from running your battery down if you're going to be gone all day. Pantry here, a separate manual for your Whirlpool fridge. Coming into your kitchen, self-explanatory microwave convection combo. Of course, another remote or manual for that. You do have a high and low exhaust, as well as a light. Your cooktops, get a panel light. Turn this to light, press in, and you see all of your flames lighting up here. Little cooker back there, and then your front one up here. Same thing on your oven. Turn this to light. Shut all these off. Turn this to light. Press that in. That will light your pilot. You have an oven light over here. TV. Let's raise that up from over here. Below that we can have our JBL sound system and fireplace. We'll go over here in a moment. First up here you've got your big Insignia Smart TV. Again, when you arrive, set everything up on this. Have it down for storage while you're traveling. Down below that, turn on your sound system. I'll bring your TV back down. Comes down quickly. I'm gonna run a channel scan. I don't know how well anything will pick up on the inside here. See if we get anything to pick up. So 3 zones. That's indoors. That's up front. And this one's outdoors. Or all 3. Different modes. USB, auxiliary 2, optical, HDMI, and an ARC and Bluetooth compatible. Fireplace. Not just for looks anymore. I can turn it on, show you brighter or dimmer, but the biggest thing is the heat, folks. If it's chilly in here in the morning or evening, crank this baby up on high. Well, it's hot already. Instead of wasting your gas, if you're plugged in somewhere, turn the heat on this thing and it'll get it toasty in here in no time. Over on your sofa, on each end you've got your storage. I'm going to turn this into a bed real quick for you. Real simple. Find it best to stand in the middle. Gives you good leverage. Remove all of your cushions. These are just Velcroed on the back here. Lift up in the middle. Fold your legs out. Pull everything towards you. Flip your back down. And just that quickly, you got another sleeping quarters. Most importantly, when putting this away, lift up your back first, otherwise you will damage your sofa. Stand your front up. Fold these in. Jackknife this back down. Again, stand in the middle gives you good leverage to handle it. Not super heavy, but it's also, again, not super light. Just that quickly get back to a sofa. Recliners. USB and power port here. This will fold away. Power recline. Light, massage, heat, USB port. Bring the recliner back. Show you the other one working on the other end real quick. There it goes. There's your recliner, there's your lights. Over to your island. Find this power button here. Here it is. Freshwater drinking station. You'll just turn this on here and that will allow you to siphon water from. We'll do this quick. Turn that on there. That will get water from the pump that's in the front storage. So on a little separate water pump. 110 there. Your dinette. Your chairs are strapped in for travel. You also have a couple of matching folding chairs that look just like these, stored up underneath your bed. Pop-up power port, we call these. Heading up the hallway, just with storage on both sides. On the bottom of that storage is your breaker box and fuses. Ton of 15s in there, a 20, a couple 25s. Highly recommend having a handful of those with you when you go camping. Coming into your bedroom, another TV. Turn that on. Well, I mentioned these are return air vents. Next to your bed or your dresser, 110 and 12 volt power ports. Another temperature reader, and you can shut off your ceiling lights from in here and control this slide. Here's a door you want to make sure that you have snapped open for travel. Come back into your back bathroom, lights off to the side, and a fan, the last one. So four speeds, hand crank to open. Shower door, make sure that this is snapped open for travel. There we go, off. Oh, we got a shower. Huge shower head here. Rain shower head, as well as a removable one. Seat folds down. Storage up here, as well as being prepped for a washer and dryer. Another door to make sure that you have snapped all the way open for travel. We have a bungee here that will come around both here. Make sure that's snapped open. A little plumbing to maintain, just keep an eye on it. It's mostly PEX nowadays. Maintain it like you would your house at home. Even more so, because you're bouncing this down the road. On that note, I think that about covers everything in here. I did want to mention, up next to the bed, you can be in bed at night and realize, oh great, I forgot to shut off all the lights. You can shut off all the interior and all the exterior lights from right here. We'll put your remote for this TV up here in there and get ready to close the unit up. So what I like to do is start by going to my control panel and touching number 1. I know that's going to shut off all my interior lights except accent lights. So let me walk through the unit and shut all those off. Put away my remotes and a couple pillows. Alright, now that I've walked through the unit, you shut off all the lights except for what can be controlled by number 1. I'm going to say doors and drawers. Walk through the unit, make sure all doors and drawers are closed. Nothing's going to impede your slides from coming in. They utilize every inch on these things. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Once we're all buttoned up, we can do this in a couple ways. We can go to our control panel and we can go to mechanisms and we will bring in slide number 1. I'm going to hit retract from here. I'm going to bring that in a little bit. So you see you can do it from here. Then I'm going to come up here and go slide retract and show you can do it from here. As well. And then before it gets all the way in, you can also go down here to slide number 1 to retract to finish your slide. So 3 different places that slide can come in and out at. You can control that from. Go to slide number 2, hit retract. I find it easier just to use this part down here instead of having to go through all of our mechanisms up here. When that was in, go to slide number 3 and hit retract for our living room slide. As you notice, especially see this one, how the bottom comes in first. That's because the slide mechanism is on the bottom. Eventually the weight and the counterweight of the slide catches up with it and it straightens itself out. And once our last slide's in, we are just going to hit number 1 here. I want you to hear that noise one time. If you hear that on any of your slides, no worry, no fret. That's just the slide mechanism saying I'm in as far as I can go, and it stops it from going in any further. Number 1, Now I'd like to look outside and see if any of our exterior lights are still on, which they are. So now I just touch number 2 and I know that'll shut off all of those. Alright, exiting the unit. Biggest thing on these steps, bring them up or down. Make sure this exterior door is all the way open, otherwise this is going to catch on it. Lift that up. You also have adjustable feet. Simply press in on this and move the foot wherever you want it. Set your door up inside. Before you leave the dump station, and I say that in case you want to go inside and check your dumps while you're dumping, lock and deadbolt this door, lift and turn this handle. If you're boondocking, come right here to this low point drain on your campsite and pull that handle. That's going to be your freshwater drain. Otherwise, if we're at a campsite, we'll unhook our power, our water, our cable, come back over to our docking station. Again, touch the up and down arrow to get that to come on, and then we're simply going to hit retract all. Vehicle's not in the way yet. That's going to bring up all of our stabilizing jacks. Going to return your front leveling jacks to where we were right before we hit auto level. When that's done, hook up your vehicle, lower it or raise it to where you need it to be. Get your vehicle hooked up and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump is going to be right in front of your tires on your off campsite. When I come inside here, catch 10-foot hose, hook that up, and we're going to pull this left black holding tank. That's going to be your front bathroom. When that's done, you think it's no longer draining, go inside, check your black tank, make sure it is empty. Leave this black handle open and hook up the hose at the dump station to this tank flush. Let that run for a good 5 minutes, washing all that nastiness out of your black tank. Come down here, pull black tank number 2. When that one's done, make sure that that's done. Come up here to tank flush number 2. That's going to be your half bath. Wash that one out. When that's done, remove that hose. Make sure all that washout that you put in there has drained before you close these. Close black tank number 2, and then we're going to pull lastly our gray tank. Now, gray tanks will be your sinks and your showers. This could be cleaner waters. While them are draining, we're going to come down here and open up our low point drain. When that last gray is done, you're going to close that gray, come down here and pull that gray. That's going to be your half bath gray tank. That's going to clean your sewage hose out for you. Take the sewage hose and conveniently and sanitarily store it over here in your sewage container. There it is. Now, if it is the end of the season and you want to empty your hot water heater, come on up here to it. First thing you're going to do is lift up on this pressure release valve. That's going to dump all your hot water out, so be careful. When that's done, put that back down or your door won't go back on. Then you can pull that drain plug for your residual hot water. Alright, we thank you again so much for your purchase. Hope you guys enjoy this Pinnacle for many years to come. Happy camping!